These following podcasts are from the Plaid Avengers World college textbook by John Boyer. We're going to try using some of his chapters this year, and we're going to try reading them and see if that is helpful or not. Okay, so we're going to start with this one, which has to do with his introduction to his World Regions textbook. On this, the first night of the course, I want you to answer two questions or three questions for me real quick that might take a little thought. Why are you really taking this course, and what do you hope to get out of taking AP Human Geography? Everybody comes to this course with, different ideas, but why are you really here? And the second thing I want you to think about is, do you believe that knowledge is power? It's a phrase that's used often. This author will use that phrase as well. Do you really believe that knowledge is power? Explain your feelings on that. What is globalization? How do the interconnections of the global economy and politics affect my life? Why are some places rich while others are poor? What does the future of the planet look like? All great questions, fellow world watchers, questions that deserve great answers. Thoughtful, intuitive, and well-researched answers contained in a well-ordered and glibly constructed textbook. This is not that book. Welcome to my world, the world of the Plaid Avenger, where seeking knowledge of our planet is imperative, where blissful ignorance is not accepted, and where truth and justice can only be achieved by those willing to learn, willing to work, willing to fight. It is not a place most are ready to enter yet, but you are here. Good, read on. In the Plaid Avengers world, we will strip off the shallow window dressing in which you have been trained to see the world. We will lay it bare to see what is really happening around the planet. We do this in order to gain enough insight about the current state of the world to truly understand the how and why and where things are happening right now. In this world, no single government or press dictates our views. No single political party shapes our opinion. No single religion or ethnicity tints our not-so-rose-colored glasses. We will see the world in plaid, a mystical weaving of facts, figures, cultures, and viewpoints from every corner of the planet, culminating into the fabric that is today. Many, if not most in our society would say, why bother? Here's why. Globalization. What is it and what does it mean to me? Economically, technologically, politically, socially, morally. We constantly hear about how the world is getting smaller. Is it? Heck no. The world is the same size it has always been, but it is becoming more connected and more interdependent than ever before. More information flows faster from even the most remote parts of the planet. For the first time ever, we can travel to any part of the world virtually overnight. Corporations move capital and jobs from one country to the next in a matter of days. News of international significance is reported seconds after it happens. We can communicate in real time with any part of the globe. The world is now one system, mostly. We are the first generation of humans who enjoy foreign travel as a casual part of life, who communicate by direct dialing to any country on all continents, who receive instant news of world happenings, who expect to work overseas or work for a country that deals overseas. Let me reiterate that. Expect. It is not an exception. This is a really important concept, especially to you, the first generation that is living in the post-industrial, highly interconnected age. Many, if not all of you, will work for multinational companies whose business is all over the world. Many, if not all of you, will work and live outside the United States at some point in your careers. Businesses and jobs are internationalizing as we speak. Almost all jobs, not just the fancy ones. You guys are the people who are going to be running the world. You guys are the decision makers. When all is said and done, I'm just a single superhero out thwarting international intrigue. But you will be the ones building the bridges and electing leaders and stabilizing governments, controlling monetary exchange rates. You may even be setting up all sorts of private, national, or even international businesses, programs, projects that will shape the world and its population. Make no mistake about it. The AIDS rate in Africa does affect you. The increasing coal consumption in China does affect you. An earthquake in Japan and the price of cocaine in Colombia does affect you. Allocation of your tax dollars, your jobs, the price you pay for goods, the amount of goods we sell, etc. Globalization is pretty much a one-way street. We are not going back to medieval times, no matter what isolationists say, do, or think. Ignore the rest of the world at your own peril. You won't be hurting anyone but yourself. How did this globalization happen anyway? And how has it shaped our planet? Of all the organisms hanging out on this blue marble we call Earth, us human types have been the biggest modifiers, movers, shakers, benders, and breakers of our fair planet. We grow food, we congregate in cities, we move around, we plan, we build machines, we communicate, we educate, we procreate, and do it faster and more thoroughly year after year after year at a larger and larger scale that has inevitably consumed the world. The idea that globalization is merely a modern phenomenon is pure poppycock. All of human history can be seen as a relentless drive to expand our tribe to every nook and cranny of the planet, and to increase the nonstop interactivity between peoples for better or for worse. Think about it. Civilization, migration, urbanization, industrialization, modernization, communication, all have served to organize, spread, and interconnect us. What a wealth of Asians that all feed into one grand scheme of globalization. You probably have learned about a lot of these Asian terms in other classes and coursework, but I want you to think about them again for a few minutes in the context of this globalization concept. Without getting into too much tedious detail, I tell you that humans have been globalizing since the birth of the species, or since a naked dude and a naked dudette were plopped down in a garden, if you prefer. Migration of humans started when the first modern Homo sapiens started hauling his tushy out of Africa over 70,000 years ago. Darn, did Africa stink even back then? Humans subsequently spread to all continents and all major islands, and this process of movement is still going strong today. Humans used to migrate in order to take advantage of new unpopulated lands, untapped resources, or to follow game. In today's world, they migrate for jobs, for security, for a better life in a richer place. Wait a minute. Is there a difference between these migration motivations? Maybe not. Did you really think that illegal Mexican migration to the US or African migration to Europe was some new thing? Ha! We've been on that route forever. But let's be civilized about this, which brings me to civilization, a process that wildly impacted the human experience. See, we used to be the ever-expanding, ever-migrating hunter-gatherer types living in small, unconnected bands scattered across the planet. But around 10,000 years ago, some folks stumbled upon agriculture, and that was a game changer. All that extra food surplus as a result of growing plants in a predictable cycle led to folks settling down in permanent places. The domestication of animals, the creation of better tools, specialization of work, and complex societies which encouraged trade and cooperation. And not just trade within a single society, but between different ones in different places. Aha! That was the evolution of intentional interconnections between populated areas in an effort to trade not just goods and services, but ideas and technologies and peoples themselves. Globalization on. They call this stuff outsourcing and economic activity and technology transfer in today's world. But it's all the same stuff as way back when. Same stuff, different millennium. This civilization gig also transforms the geographic organization of human life. We go from small bands of folks out in the wild to hanging out with each other in bigger and bigger numbers in things called villages, and then towns, and then cities. The first major civilizations that popped up 6,000 years ago in China, Indus Valley, Mesopotamia, Egypt, etc., began a perpetual process of population growth and urbanization that continues unabated to this day. Translation. Humans have increasingly chosen to live in big population clusters in built-up areas that we call cities, as opposed to hanging out in the sparsely populated rural areas we refer to as the sticks. Humankind reached a milestone in 2009 when, for the first time in history, over 50% of the world's population now lives in an urban area. The percentage is growing bigger, faster than ever. This urbanization has intensified human interaction exponentially over time. Interaction which has accelerated the creation and transfer of ideas and technologies. New ideas, new inventions, new stuff. which prompted industrialization, of course. Did you ever stop and wonder how it is possible for so many people to now cram themselves into cities, thus not being able to grow their food or collect their own water or hunt their own bison? Because we invented machines to do the heavy lifting that used to require all our labor, and we discovered energy sources to fuel those machines. Bottom line, one dude on a tractor can grow enough food to feed 1 million people in the city. 10 kids in a sweatshop can make clothes for that million. And oil-powered big machines can build skyscrapers and sewer systems and water lines for that million people. What the heck is left for those city folk to do? They have time to think, to interact, to create, to be inventors, doctors, artists, engineers, scientists, industrialists, priests, rock stars, and whatever else we come up with. That's how we got electricity, the polio vaccine, the Hoover Dam, mobile phones, and computers. Unfortunately, with so much free time and such diverse and bizarre human motivations, we also have nuclear weapons, mustard gas, lawyers, and ShamWow. Such is the yin and yang of life, but I digress. This urbanization industrialization combo has served to link up the globe like never before. More humans compacted into bigger, concentrated urban areas has caused even more interaction within the city, but also increasingly between cities worldwide. Cities are both the engines and the nodes of globalizing forces, the conduit for transfers of ideas, money, technologies, and power, everywhere, all the time. The connectedness is now happening at light speed thanks to advances in transportation and communication. Yep, our last Asian is really the power booster icing on this globalizing cake. From smoke signals to the Pony Express to transoceanic telegraph cables, we humans have spent a lot of time and effort figuring out how to better transmit information to each other across the planet. Let me be the first to tell you, my brothers and sisters, we have almost reached the end game on this one. With mobile phones, the internet, and satellite TV radio, we can pretty much transmit any type of information almost instantaneously to any part of the globe. It's totally insane if you think about it. More ideas, more information, more interaction between more people than ever before. Twittering every second of our collective experience. And more folks are jumping into the system faster than ever before as well. Just look at the figures on these two maps to see the speed at which the world is hooking up online. We have essentially set ourselves up as a single huge worldwide computer wherein all the humans attached to this system are interacting to solve problems, sell goods, provide news, and everything else. What is the Matrix? Heck, just look around. We can chat with friends in Uzbekistan, watch a live news report from Brazil, vacation at the Vatican, have business transactions with Singapore, and share research ideas via Skype with associates in Switzerland. That, my friends, is global connection. That is globalization made possible by all the other Asians to note in this section. What does it all add up to? A more fully connected world in every sense of the word, in which the actions of any one person affects the lives of everyone. All of the aforementioned Asians have gone from local, isolated, or internal concepts to completely planetary themes in scope and practice. In this increasingly populated and interconnected world, it is becoming clear that all local problems are actually global problems, from the movement of narcotics to an outbreak of an infectious disease to environmental pollution to the existence of nuclear weapons and so on. However, the solutions lie within this connected framework as well. See, this globalization is neither bad nor good. It just is and will continue to be. Will globalization result in a homogenization of culture, in a modernization of all societies, in a pacification of the planet, in a disintegration of the concept of the sovereign state? Oh my, what a delicious stew of other Asian possibilities that I will leave you to debate. For now, I just want to spill some of the crazy globalization knowledge on your skull cap to see the sparks fly. Knowledge is power, or at least empowerment. The more you know about the globalizing world in which we live, the more power you have. It's good to have at least a minimal geographic understanding of our planet. What's that? You don't know what geography is?